What's going on, guys? It is the Anime Jaguar here, or call me AJ for short if that is a tongueful for you. And today, it's going to be a more personal ranking. These are my 8 favorite Christmas movies, or 8 Christmas movies I recommend you to watch this holiday season if you haven't already. And if you have, a lot of these are worth watching more than once in a holiday season. I've watched some of these more than once in a holiday season. Some of these I've just recently seen for the first time. So, if you like content like this, like and subscribe right now or after you're done watching the video. And with that out of the way, send me your 8 favorite Christmas movies and let's begin. Number 8, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's a brilliant Christmas movie. It balances Christmas spirit, slapstick comedy, laugh out loud comedy, and good old-fashioned warmth and happiness. There are some golden one-liners peppered throughout it too. It's great fun. It's a simple, dumb, funny comedy from the 80s, and that's exactly why it's so great. Not everything has to make complete sense, and it's okay just to laugh at someone who you can relate to or see in someone else in your family. It's got a great message underneath, and of course, it's Clark Griswold and Cousin Ed. Number 7, Elf. I adore this film. This is an outstanding movie that is hilarious and rewatchable. I can't count how many times I've seen this film. Will Ferrell is excellent as Buddy the Elf. I can't imagine anyone else playing Buddy the Elf. Jon Favreau did a great job crafting material for Buddy the Elf. Will Ferrell in this movie is the perfect man-child. The sincere story is tailor-made for Buddy the Elf. Overall, the acting is superb. A few of the best were Bob Newhart, Zooey Deschanel before she was famous, and Mary Steenburgen. This Christmas movie is made for everyone. All of the above makes this film entertaining and delightful. Number 6, Remember the Night. Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck are perfectly cast in Preston Sturges' gem of a script. This is a romantic comedy that rather courageously pushes against convention and expectation for an ending that's maybe a tad disappointing, but far more satisfying than the cop-out finale towards what we think we're headed. Director Mitchell Lyson sets the perfect tone throughout, tender without being sentimental, funny with a persistent melancholy running beneath. And Remember the Night, relationships are complicated, people are complicated, the law and responsibility and crime and punishment are complicated, too complicated for simple screwball comedy conventions, and at the end of the day, the heart wants what the heart wants, but it doesn't always get what it wants, or when or how it wants it. Number 5, The Shop Around the Corner. A film with many layers and a joy to watch. It's a real triumph for director Ernst Lubitsch. He fleshes out his characters in the simplest of ways with little gestures and comments. In Love, he shows us the importance of inner character, but also acknowledges physical appeal. Clara and Alfred are, of course, much more eloquent and kind to one another as anonymous pen pals, and it shows us how much our openness and attitude towards someone else shapes our view of them. The cast is fantastic, led by excellent performances from Morgan and Stewart. Felix Bressart as the family man and William Tracy as the errand boy stand out in supporting roles. There is such a genuine feeling to this film, where Lubitsch really takes us into the world of this little shop. As in life, there is despair and bickering, just as there is friendship and higher love. This is an old film to seek out. Number 4, Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street is one of my favorite traditional Christmas movies. The movie is overflowing with heart to a point that it seems like it would be impossible for anyone to dislike it. Edmund Gwenn delivers a marvelous performance that every actor to take the role of Santa Claus since 1947 has been trying their best to emulate. He has the perfect amount of sincerity, since you instantly love him and get on his side. The rest of the cast is also wonderful, including a very young Natalie Wood, who acts so much older than she was at the time. The one thing you just can't get away from when talking about Miracle on 34th Street is that it is strictly a holiday film. That doesn't necessarily make it a worse film, though, because I'll probably continue to watch this movie around this time of year again and again in the future. And it goes down the short list of Christmas classics that I think everyone should see at this point. Number 3, Klaus. It's an aggressively likable Christmas movie. It's telling a bit of an origin story to the mythos of Santa Claus through the eyes of a mailman. It's a movie that's at times very funny, but for the most part, it's just incredibly charming.
If it has a choice between a charming character moment or a big laugh, it'll go for the charm, and that's fine with me. It makes a sweet movie that never feels excessively sweet, but just right. And the animation is beautiful. That's all I can say. But it's just gorgeous. Some of the best hand-drawn animation that you'll see. If I had to complain about something, it's that the music choices are not the best, and they don't fit in with the movie's theme. It almost feels inescapable in an animated film these days, and it seems like you can't avoid it. But the biggest thing is that in the third act, we get one of those lie-revealed tropes. It's an annoying trope, and I really don't like the tropes, but it could have been worse. They did a good job considering it's a trope I'm not a fan with. But fortunately, it doesn't last long, and admittedly, it does propel the film towards its final message, which is a good one. Other than that, I think we could have a Christmas classic on our hands here. Number 2, Die Hard. Most people think it's a Christmas movie, and it's been debated for a while now, ever since it was released. I'm not one of those who thinks it's a Christmas movie. It's a stretch to call it a Christmas movie. I can see what people are saying, but I'll just consider it a Christmas movie for this list since most people consider it. So that's why it's at number 2, and let's just explain what's so good about it.
This is a well-arranged film from beginning to end. The screenplay with John McClane on the plane sets up small details about him that make sense as you watch the movie. This is crucial to what happens later on. There are lines of dialogue between people in the beginning of the film that mean a lot later on in the movie. The action and stunt work is simply outstanding.
Number 1, It's a Wonderful Life. This was directed by Frank Capra and stars Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed from 1946. It might be a surprise that this was a box office bomb when it was originally released. It later gained a cult following after the movie entered the public domain. Jimmy Stewart gives another banger of a performance, and the universal relatability he brings to the role of George Bailey is likely a large reason for the timeless adoration his character has received. It definitely creates warm, positive feelings inside, even without the nostalgia effect. So I can't imagine what this film does for those who've grown up with it. Genuine empathy for our morally driven protagonist and what might have been within Capra's resolutely tender treatment of the ideal everyman, coupled with the terror of unfulfilled potential, allow this classic to avoid becoming overly sweet. While Capra's optimism may not strike as much of a generational note among today's audiences, this one still pulls at the heartstrings. It speaks to you if you're having anger issues with family or just having problems in general, not just anger issues. The sequence towards the ending was heartbreaking. One of my favorite Christmas films. My favorite Christmas film. It's a Wonderful Life is an everlasting film that anyone can appreciate.
Thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And if you haven't already, send your 8 favorite Christmas movies, or more if you like. And I'll see you in my next video.